Now, there is no end to the mosque loudspeaker controversy in Maharashtra after Maharashtra Navnirman Sena chief Raj Thackeray gave an ultimatum to the Maharashtra government to remove loudspeakers from mosques by May 3rd. The leader will now chant Hanuman Chalisa in Pune. Countering the Thackeray attack, Shiv Sena leader Sanjay Raut has called Raj Thackeray the OAC of Maharashtra. In response, MNS threatened Raut and held protests outside the office of Shiv Sena's Samna newspaper. A protest was also held outside Uddhav Thackeray's Matoshri residence. Meanwhile, giving his take on the issue, Maharashtra Minister Aditya Thackeray said that loudspeakers should be used to create awareness about issues like rising prices of essential items.
तुम्हाला जो काही नमाज पडायचा आहे, तुम्हाला जी काय अजान द्यायची घरामध्ये द्या. आणि जर सांगून जर समजा तुम्हाला समजत नसेल की हे भोंगे खाली उतरवा, तुम्ही आम्हाला विनाकारण त्रास देऊ नका, हे जर नीट सांगून समजत नसेल तर तुमच्या मशिदीच्या बाहेर आम्ही हनुमान चालीसा लावणार म्हणजे लावणार.
मैं सबको कहना चाहता हूं कि कोई भी व्यक्ति, कोई भी संगठन, कोई भी पार्टी कानून हाथ में न ले. ये जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जो ऑर्डर है वो बहुत स्पष्ट है. उसमें ये लाउडस्पीकर निकालने के लिए कहीं भी कहा नहीं है. उन्होंने डेसिबल की मर्यादा रखी हुई है. और दूसरी बात यह है कि रात को 10 बजे से लेके 6 बजे तक स्पीकर लगाने के लिए पाबंदी लगाई है.
भोंग्यातून वाढलेल्या किमतींबद्दल पण लोकांना जर सांगता आलं तर हे पण सांगावं की ह्या किमती जे दरवाढ झालेली आहे, पेट्रोल डिझेलचे असेल, सीएनजी असेल, हे कशामुळे झालं आणि 60 वर्षापूर्वी न जाता गेल्या 2-3 वर्षात का झालं हे सांगावं.
आदरणीय राज साहब ने मनसे सैनिकों के लिए एक आदेश दिया है और वो आदेश के अनुसार अगर 3 तारीख तक ये लाउडस्पीकर उतारे नहीं गए तो हम रास्ते पे उतरने वाले हैं. लाली और अब्बास की सरकार है और ये सरकार ही ये इशू खड़ा कर रही है. अगर ये इशू ही नहीं होगा तो बाकी चीज़ें नहीं होगी. अगर इशू सरकार ही खड़ा करेगी तो बाकी चीज़ तो होने ही वाली है. हिंदू रास्ते पे उतरेगा.
उद्धव ठाकरे जी महाराष्ट्र के मुख्यमंत्री है. महाराष्ट्र के दिन ब दिन जो संकट आ रहे, महाराष्ट्र में 7.5 लगी हुई है जब से उद्धव ठाकरे मुख्यमंत्री बने. और उनसे आह्वान करूंगा मैं कि मातोश्री के अंदर उन्होंने हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ना चाहिए. अगर वो हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ते हैं तो लगेगा महाराष्ट्र में कहीं ना कहीं उद्धव ठाकरे जी बाला साहेब ठाकरे विचारों पे चल रहे, वरना बाला साहेब ठाकरे के विचार उन्हें बाजू में रख के अलग ही दिशा में उनकी राजनीति चल रही है.
So that's the latest controversy that seems to have broken out in Maharashtra. MNS chief Raj Thackeray has given an ultimatum to the Maharashtra government to remove loudspeakers from outside mosques by May 3rd. Otherwise, he and his party workers will take to the streets in protest. Today, of course, he has said that he will be reading and reciting the Hanuman Chalisa in Pune. Remember that this is the latest controversy that has broken out in Maharashtra. The Shiv Sena, of course, has hit back at Raj Thackeray. Sanjay Raut called Raj Thackeray the OAC of Maharashtra. In response, MNS party workers protested outside the Samna office in Mumbai. Sanjay Raut is the editor of Samna, which is the Shiv Sena's mouthpiece newspaper. Aditya Thackeray also waded into this controversy and said loudspeakers should in fact be used in order to tell people about the rising prices of essential items, taking a jibe at the central government and of course the rising prices of essential items and fuel products that are being seen across the country. So for the moment, of course, the Maharashtra government not caving in to the threat from MNS, but it remains to be seen what happens by the time this deadline, which has been set, an ultimatum which has been given by the MNS, in fact, comes to a close on May 3rd. Remember, Raj Thackeray, of course, hasn't been seen in active politics for a while, but this, of course, is the latest controversy that has erupted, and he has, in fact, gone out there and said that loudspeakers should be removed from outside mosques. Mustafa Sheikh, my colleague, is now joining me from Pune on this. Mustafa, what is Raj Thackeray playing at? This seems to be the latest issue that he's ignited, of course, in Maharashtra. But what is the underlying possibly agenda that people are talking about. The Shiv Sena, of course, not exactly worried about the threat and the ultimatum that he seems to have given.
Well, when I discuss politics, I'll just show you the live visuals from Pune where we are, where the Maha Aarti is going to be performed, and as said that there will be loudspeakers. There are loudspeakers, there is band, and there is huge crowd which is gathered here. Now, the agenda of having loudspeakers outside mosque is something which is finding resonance all over the country. So MNS, which doesn't have much of the seats in terms of political presence you talk about, like they have one corporator in the BMC, they have one MLA in the Maharashtra Assembly, and they are trying to gain more ground. And it seems that they have, after 2005, they have found another national issue. In 2005, it was North Indian, there was violence, and there was a lot of, Raj Thackeray shot to fame, and it was in all over the country news. And this is something which is happening once more with this loudspeaker Azan controversy. This is an issue which is resonating. MNS has written to Amit Shah to implement the Supreme Court guidelines on the loudspeakers. So this is clearly which is giving him political relevance on a national platform. He's trying to cash in on it in the Maharashtra politics and trying to increase his political presence. And it clearly seems that the MNS is trying to utilize the publicity which they have got for this issue. This is clearly seen from Pune where we are in. It's a huge event which has been organized, and you will see on this pandal is something where the temple is the Maha Aarti will be performed. So MNS is trying to regain and gain more political presence in Maharashtra. Back to you.
Mustafa, also earlier you were, of course, filing this report where you did show us posters and banners where Raj Thackeray seemed to have fashioned himself in the way that Balasaheb Thackeray carried himself with that saffron shawl around him. And we see those banners behind you as well as you report right now. Is this something that's deliberate? It's Raj Thackeray trying to capture in on the space that many critics in fact say that Shiv Sena has somehow vacated because of their alliance now with the Congress and the NCP.
Yes, of course, that seemed to be. Sir, जो पहनावा है राज साहब का देखें, जो शॉल सेफ्रन शॉल डाली गई है, कहीं ना कहीं बालासाहेब ठाकरे की तरफ सिमिलरिटी दिख रही है. कहीं ना कहीं हम वो चीज़ एक आप कह सकते हैं हिंदू जननायक के तौर पर ये एक तरह से राज ठाकरे को प्रेजेंट करने का.
ये तो सम्माननीय हिंदू हृदय सम्राट बालासाहेब ठाकरे की प्रतिमा, ये छवि है. पूरी जनता उनको उसी रूप में देखना चाहती है. ये तो हमारा खाली अभी हमने दिखा है, लेकिन जनता उनको इसी रूप में देखना चाहती है.
That's clearly what you were saying, because there were a lot of Shiv Senics or people who were with the party initially that didn't agree with the alliance with Congress. Now Shiv Sena is in alliance with Congress in Maharashtra. So that ground of politics, of core Hindutva politics is something which the MNS is now finding resonances and they are trying to make an impact and make an influence starting from Mumbai, Maharashtra, and then resonating all over the country. Back to you.
Right, Mustafa Sheikh there reporting from Pune. Thank you so much for joining us with those details. Now, at a time when calls for a ban on loudspeakers at mosques are steadily amplifying across several regions across the country, the loudspeaker stir has also been picked up by the right-wing groups in Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. In Aligarh, ABVP has sought permission from the administration to install loudspeakers at 21 prominent road crossings to recite the Hanuman Chalisa. While in Banaras, some people played Hanuman Chalisa on loudspeakers. In Madhya Pradesh's Bhopal, Hindu organizations have been given permission by the police to hold a rally in the old city on Hanuman Jayanti. Meanwhile, in West Bengal's Hooghly, a Lord Hanuman flag was seen on the streets completely torn. BJP workers in the region staged a massive protest, blocking roads, accusing the Trinamool Congress of inciting violence.
नहीं हमें उनसे उससे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. हम लोग का पर्व है, इसमें कोई रोक नहीं है. आप तो आजादी है, ये अपना देश है.
लोकल स्तर पर प्रशासन को तय करना है, ये कोई सरकार के स्तर के निर्णय नहीं है. और मैं समझता हूँ कि सभी जगह बात होगी, सब ध्यान दे रहे हैं, चिंता कर रहे हैं.
एक सवाल से बस ये रहेगा कि बतौर गृह मंत्री उन लोगों को क्या आप चेतावनी देना चाहेंगे जो कि इस तरीके के धार्मिक माहौल में रंग में भंग डालने का काम करते हैं?
उनको चेतावनी मिल चुकी है वैसे, तो इसलिए ऐसी कोई दिक्कत है नहीं और कोई भी दखल डालेगा
मध्य प्रदेश में शांति रहेगी,
एकदम शांति।
Amid the questions over Azan on loudspeaker on the occasion of Hanuman Jayanti in Varanasi, the Hanuman Chalisa part, chant, and at the same time all important, all those parts have been done here in Varanasi, playing on the loudspeaker and at the same time celebrating Hanuman Jayanti. We are right now here at one of the Hanuman temple here in Varanasi, and you can see how everyone is in the mode of celebrating Hanuman Jayanti. Today in Varanasi at several places, such picture is emerging where the people are celebrating Hanuman Jayanti, playing and repeating the chants of Hanuman over loudspeaker. In Varanasi with cameraman Gaurav, Abhishek Mishra for India Today.
The Azan controversy has now reached Uttar Pradesh's Aligarh. Right-wing fringe group named Samta Manch has demanded that loudspeakers from the top of mosques should be removed and Azan should not be played out on loudspeakers. Otherwise, they will put up loudspeakers in 21 public places, including temples like Gilraj Temple, and they will play Hanuman Chalisa whenever Azan is played out on the mosques. However, the local administration has not given permission for putting up such loudspeakers, and it is being said that Baldev Chaudhary, who is a former AVVP activist, is behind this entire controversy. On the other side, the local administration is staying on its toes today on Hanuman Jayanti, and on the other side, the local residents of Aligarh say that they have nothing to do with this Azan versus Hanuman Chalisa controversy, and those steering up this controversy have political motives. With video journalist Sachin Chandok, this is Amit Bhardwaj for India Today from Aligarh.